All right, so hey, I've been receiving a lot of questions in regards to SSI, supplemental security income, and thought it would be wise to jump on this live stream here, spend a little bit of time, and talk specifically about SSI. I think we all recognize this year has been nuts. I know I say that all the time lately because it has, right? There's a lot of moving parts right now. A lot of things are changing around Social Security, and I've had a lot of questions about different types of benefits: SSDI, retirement, survivor, spousal, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, no income. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? But a lot of the times, with some of these different announcements coming out of Social Security recently, there are specific rules, special rules for SSI versus all the other beneficiaries, okay? So a lot of the times when I'm out in these videos recently, I've been saying, hey, all of this pertains to everybody, but SSI, you've got your own set of rules. So anyway, when I make these videos, and like I have over the last couple weeks here with all these different rules and parameters and reinstating different essentially rules. I know I said rules a bunch of times there, but rules out of Social Security. When I've been talking about these recently, it's like, hey, all of these pertain to everybody, but SSI, you've got your own special rules here, right? Anyway, so what I want to do is just spend a little bit of time here in this live stream. We're not going to sit here forever in this live stream, but I do just want to talk about some of the different rules out there around SSI that Social Security has specifically announced and what you need to know if you are an SSI beneficiary, okay? So a lot of different things happening. So again, I think I made it pretty clear, but I just want to clarify one more time really quickly. Everything I'm going to talk about here in this video directly pertains and is focusing around SSI, supplemental security income. Okay, so if you receive, say, retirement or SSDI or survivors or spousal, one of these types of benefits, I have a ton of dedicated videos here on the channel for you. And don't get me wrong, I have plenty more videos coming. Don't worry. I have videos and live streams, things like that. I can certainly jump on another live stream and talk specifically about those benefits. That's okay, no problem whatsoever. But I just know that there's a lot of dedicated questions coming in around SSI, so I wanted to jump on this dedicated live stream. Okay. Anyway, so I want to throw that out there. Just want to we're all on the same page here, so there's no confusion about this. And again, there's so many moving parts. I totally get it. It can be very, very confusing around this. Now, first off, one thing first, I see this question literally in every live stream that I make lately. I've been seeing this question come in quite a bit from a variety of different people. So let me just answer this question really quickly. This does not have anything to do with recent announcements out of Social Security, but rather just a bunch of questions that I see rolling in on this, okay? A lot of people wondering, hey, what's going on with the marriage penalty? I have not seen anything about the marriage penalty in like 2 months, okay? Probably at least 2 months or so, give or take a little bit. I mean, it could have been 7 weeks ago. It could have been 5 weeks ago. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen any real solid information around the marriage penalty. Again, that's not what we're talking about here in this video in general, but just wanted to throw that out there really quickly, again, because I'm sure I'll see that down below in the comment section, asking about the marriage penalty. So I want to throw it there really quickly right away, which is, have not seen anything about the marriage penalty recently, okay? I will keep you posted. If I see anything in regards to the marriage penalty or anything in regards to SSI, just like always, I'll bring it to your attention immediately, right away, in a dedicated video. I'll jump on a live stream, whatever it happens to be. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about another announcement that recently came out of Social Security. And again, I get a lot of questions about this. That's okay, but let's clarify this. Okay, so we know that Social Security is reinstating the 100% garnishment on overpayments to beneficiaries, right? So I've talked about this a couple times recently. They were out maybe, what was that? Was it a week or two ago? I don't remember exactly when it was. There's been so many announcements, honestly, out of Social Security. It could have been 1 week ago. It could have been 2 weeks ago. It was on a Friday. I think it was 2 weeks ago on a Friday. But anyway, they were out just randomly. It was a Friday afternoon. They came out in a press release and said, hey, guess what? We're going to reinstate the 100% garnishment for those beneficiaries that have been overpaid. Remember, last year, they came with a new rule, which was, hey, we're going to reduce the amount of garnishment from 100% down to either 10% or $10, whatever is greater, for all Social Security beneficiaries. That was a very welcomed change, right? Because people that were receiving a 100% garnishment were literally seeing all of their money taken, as in their benefits completely garnished until any overpayment to them was basically repaid. Well, this was a really bad situation. Last year, we were seeing all kinds of reports coming out of different media channels and things like this where they were reporting on this, and people were literally losing their homes. They were being kicked out of their apartments. They were becoming homeless. They weren't able to eat. It was a really bad situation. There was a lot of reporting on this. So then basically what happened is there was so much pressure on Social Security that they reduced it down to, like I just said, the 10% or $10 thresholds last year, right? Until about, again, I think it was 2 weeks ago on a Friday, Social Security was out in a press release just randomly and said, hey, guess what? As a fiduciary responsibility of Social Security and a steward of the taxpayer dollar, we're going to come back in and, surprise, surprise, we're going to reinstate the 100% garnishment of monthly benefits. Okay? That's awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot. That really helps us out a ton. It doesn't help us out at all, right? It completely stiffs the beneficiary. But anyway, this is the rule. Now they're going to be implementing this here in a matter of just days, okay? So they announced it a couple weeks ago. It goes into effect here in a matter of days. However, there's different rules for SSI. The 100% garnishment goes into effect for all beneficiaries who receive benefits from Social Security except for SSI. Now, to clarify, SSI benefits are administered by Social Security. Technically, they are not Social Security benefits. In this case, you might want to be glad about that. Reason being is you have different rules, okay? So for SSI beneficiaries, the rules are different. Now, here's what it is, okay? The 100% applies to everybody. However, SSI, it remains at 10%. I repeat, it remains at 10% for SSI, only SSI beneficiaries. SSDI, retirement, survivors, spousal, any other beneficiaries that receive benefits from Social Security will still see the 100% garnishment or the 100% reinstated, except SSI, supplemental security income beneficiaries, will remain at 10%, okay? I know I said that like 3 times there in the last minute and a half, but I purposely did that just to make it very, very clear. SSI is at 10%, okay? So going forward, even though they will be clawing back 100% of benefits for some beneficiaries, or basically all beneficiaries except for SSI, SSI is still only going to be at 10%, okay? So don't get me wrong, I totally recognize we don't want to see any garnishment to any benefit. However, if you could take your pick, hey, we're going to let you choose here. Do you want a 100% garnishment or do you want a 10% garnishment? Obviously, you're going to take the 10% garnishment. And that's exactly what it comes down to. Now, is this every single beneficiary that is going to be seeing a garnishment to their benefit? No, it's just the beneficiaries that are overpaid by Social Security, which, by the way, Social Security sends out, according to the numbers here, about 2 million, give or take a little bit. It's different every year, but about 2 million overpayment letters a year, and a lot of those go to SSDI and SSI beneficiaries. However, we're on two totally different sides of the spectrum here. SSDI will be subject to the 100% garnishment. SSI will be subject to 10% garnishment, okay? Even though these benefits are very similar, they're very, very different at the same time. And those are the garnishment thresholds, okay? So does that kind of make sense? Again, I get this question a lot down below in the comment section. And in just a minute here, by the way, I will jump into the comment section, or I should say the chat box here on the live stream, and I will answer questions for you live, and we can answer whatever you've got for me. I'll try to do my best to answer those, as many as I possibly can. But yeah, that's what it comes down to, okay? So that's a really, really big one. It's coming in here in a matter of days. So SSI, if you have been overpaid, or if you get one of these dreaded overpayment letters, whether you get it now or whether you get it in 3 weeks or 3 months, you would still be subject to the 10% garnishment, not the 100%, okay? So that's a really rough one right there. That's going to be ugly for a lot of people, but unfortunately, Social Security is going forward with it, and that's what they're doing. So hooray for them. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks for stiffing the beneficiaries and really putting a lot of people out. Yeah, we really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Social Security. We love it. Don't love it at all. Okay, so that's one. Now next is the TOP, if I can spell correctly, TOP, which spells top. What is this? It's an acronym for Treasury Offset Program. Now, this was also just announced When was this announced? A few days ago. I don't remember exactly which day. Honestly, there's been so many different press releases coming out lately. There's just a lot of different dates out there. But anyway, this one was announced a few days ago. Okay, so they are reinstating the top program, Treasury Offset Program. This is, again, another really bad one. Another really, really bad one. Okay, so how does this program work? Now, this one was actually suspended going back to March of 2020. It was suspended basically for the last 5 years. It was suspended. But guess what? Social Security is saying, hey, guess what, everybody? We're going to reinstate it because we're cool. No, you're not cool at all. And this is going to absolutely stiff a lot of people. This is not a good thing for beneficiaries, okay? But here's what it comes down to. The Treasury Offset Program, here's what it does. If Social Security is unable to collect overpaid benefits to a beneficiary, okay, so Social Security comes in, they make the mistake, it's totally Social Security's fault, they overpay beneficiaries, and they don't get that money back, well then guess what? They basically hand over your information to the Treasury, and then the Treasury steps in and basically just takes your money. You don't have any say, you don't have any say over it whatsoever. The Treasury just literally comes in and just takes money from you. Okay? That's the part that's really tough about this is we literally have no recourse, we have no authority, we have no say in it at all. Social Security just hands all of their information over to the Treasury, and the Treasury just helps themselves to our money. Unfortunately, that's how the system is set up. They can come into it and they can just take our money, okay? That's how it is. So if you've ever felt powerless, if you've ever felt like you have no rights whatsoever, if you've ever felt violated, there you go. This is how it works, okay? This is how the program works. They can literally just take our money at their discretion because they see, a need for that. So there you go. That's the top program, okay? Anyway, Social Security, because they're awesome, they are reinstating this. And by the way, I'm being sarcastic right now. Honestly, I really like Social Security. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge advocate, really like the program. I do whatever I possibly can for the beneficiaries, but I think this is an absolutely stupid program, and they are going to really, really hurt a lot of people with this, okay? This is going to help, not hurt, sorry. This is not going to help. This is going to hurt a lot of people in a huge, huge, huge way, and because they're trying to be cool here and trying to get money back and then just doing whatever they can. They're desperate for pennies. They're desperate for dollars, and they're just taking it from people. So there you go, okay? Those are the couple that I want to talk about. I've had a bunch of people reaching out talking about this, and yes, SSI can also be subject to the top program, okay, the Treasury Offset Program. If an SSI beneficiary has been overpaid and they cannot recollect that money, yep, Treasury's coming after you, okay? Rough, really rough. Okay, so I'm going to get into the comment section here. I can tell you this much. I'm going to call it right now. I don't think you have to be a brainiac to call this one. I would imagine in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months here, we're going to see a massive, massive disruption within seniors, people with disabilities, people that are being impacted by this. It's going to be a very ugly situation, okay? And again, obviously, I don't want that to happen, but I don't think it's going to be that hard to figure out. If somebody that relies on their monthly benefit is having their benefits completely garnished and taken from them before they even see a penny of it, it's going to be ugly, right? Yep. Okay, I'm going to get into the chat here. I'll spend a little bit of time answering questions. Whatever you got for me, stick it down below if you want. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can, and we'll do what we can here. All right, it's going to take me a minute to pull these up. And yes, if anybody is questioning, I have not gotten into the chat yet. If anybody's saying, this isn't true, no, this is a lie, whatever, no, these are real press releases out of Social Security. Look it up if you want to. There's always people that say, you're making this up. Okay, whatever. If that's what you believe, then fine. Believe what you want. I don't really care. Just these are real press releases, okay? All right, so it's going to take me a second to get into the chat. Hang on. Here we go. Nice. Is it Camille? Sorry, Camille, I think it is. Sorry, if I'm saying your name incorrectly, I apologize. I'm just doing my best here. I'm really bad at saying names for some weird reason. But yeah. I think it's Camille Cameron. Yeah, they took 50% and then you had to pay back the other half. Yep, that's what happens. That's how it goes. Yeah, that's rough. Kit Kat, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining us, Kit Kat. Nice to have you. Good afternoon. Yeah. Is it Toria Everhart? If you're just joining right now, I literally just got into the chat right now. What I would say is just literally roll back the live stream here and watch the first however long we've been on here, 10 minutes or whatever it is. I'm just talking about some different rules that are established for SSI out of Social Security versus all beneficiaries. SSI generally has their own set of rules. And with some of the recent press release announcements out of Social Security, yes, there are some different ones out there for specifically SSI. So this is what I wanted to hammer out for you. Lindsay Murphy, yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks, Lindsay. Nice to have you. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here, Lindsay. Kit Kat is saying, what about SSI? Hey, Kit Kat, this video is literally all about SSI. Literally, the whole thing is about SSI. So, yeah, again, if you're just jumping on right now, just scroll back, literally watch the first, like, however many minutes of this live stream until I get to the chat here. That's really all you need to watch, and it's covered all the details there as far as some recent announcements out of Social Security in regards to SSI and the special rules that they've established for them. Lewis Mays, are you saying meow? Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. Larry is saying, what are they going to do for real? Like, I don't know if this live stream is just being served right now and people are just jumping on right now. I don't know, but I literally just like talk through all the details of what Social Security is announcing and what they're doing for SSI. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Flex is saying right on, Lewis. Hey, Flex, nice to have you here. Thanks for joining. Is it Zola Quinn? Zola Quinn, hey, all is well. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Susan Ryan is waving her hands all around. Hey, Susan, nice to have you. Yeah, good afternoon and happy Sunday. Lewis Mays is saying, those on SSI are forever doomed. I don't know. I guess in this situation, for what I was talking about, the first like 10 minutes or whatever of this live stream so far, SSI is actually being a little bit protected by Social Security, which is honestly pretty nice considering they could have thrown us to the wolves, but they didn't. Not as bad, right? They threw us to the puppies rather than to the wolves like they did everybody else. So yeah, I covered that. Yep. Yeah, Brian Burton, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, happy Sunday and good afternoon. Thank you. Is it Lillis? What about SSDI beneficiaries over the age of 62? That's a really good question. Again, what I was talking about here in this video were just specific rules out of Social Security in regards to SSI and how they're kind of protecting the beneficiary a little bit because SSI generally has their own set of rules. So I'm just kind of breaking that down based on recent press releases, but specifically SSDI over the age of 62. Again, when it comes down to SSDI, age doesn't really play a role so much when it comes down to SSDI. Basically, all the rules around SSDI are essentially the same regardless of age, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, John. Hey, John, I see you there. Exactly. Thanks for joining us, John. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here, John. Sorry, can't speak apparently. Thanks, John. Yeah, Isaac Norman again asking about the rule for SSI. Again, if you're just jumping on right now, the best thing I would say is just roll the live stream back and watch the first like 10 minutes or so. I'm just talking about some updates out of Social Security in regards to some recent press releases because the rules are different for SSI. Yep. Oh, Lewis, Lewis, yeah, I see you there. Yvette, is it Yvette Posey? I think it is. Hey, thank you again. I say your name wrong every single time. I'm sorry about that. You're saying if somebody's already been overpaid by Social Security, yeah, or if somebody's already overpaid by Social Security and grandfathered in, will they take the benefit? Again, according to my understanding of this, based on the press release out of Social Security, if somebody has already received an overpayment letter, like over the last year or over the next couple of days here, basically before they change the rule here, it sounds like you're still grandfathered in at either the 10% or the $10, whatever is greater. But then anybody that receives the overpayment letter after they implement this, again, in just a matter of days here, once they implement that, then it reverts back to the 100%. So yeah, if you've been overpaid and you've already been notified of that, yeah, it sounds like you're grandfathered in at the 10% or the $10. But then again, any new people being informed of overpayments after this deadline, then they go back to the 100%. Yeah, so yeah, that would answer the question. Yeah, Eliza just got here, exactly. Yeah, I would say just check out the first like 10 minutes of the live stream. That's kind of what I talked about there, yeah. Yeah, again, Lewis saying hopefully they'll do something for us. You've been on SSI for a very long time. Exactly. Let's just see what happens out of all this. There's been a ton of changes. I think we all recognize that. I've talked about them recently. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yep. John is saying, what happened to the extra money from Social Security? I'm guessing you're talking about the money that was going out to those people that were impacted by the repeal of the WEP or the GPO. Those payments, it sounds like, according to what I've been noticing, it seems like those retroactive lump sum payments from the Social Security Administration have all been sent out. Yeah, they sent out billions and billions and billions of dollars to about 3.2 million people over about a 3-ish week period of time. They sent out all that in those payments. The average person was getting about $7,000, but it looks like they've wrapped those up and they're completed with that. So yeah, that's what that was. Zola Quinn, you're saying, what if you are a payee, and they've sent you an overpayment? Well, the same thing would be applied here, right? So, again, the representative payee, if that's what you're talking about, if you're a representative payee, I mean, the same would apply. If the beneficiary is being overpaid, then, yeah, obviously they're going to want that money back. Yep. Yeah, Cornfield, I see you there. You're saying Matt for president, and then you said, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, obviously, that would be awesome. That'd be really, really nice. But honestly, I appreciate it. I don't think I'd want to be put in that position. I mean, seriously, what an absolute mess, right? So it's kind of interesting to think about. It'd be like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, do some things that actually be helpful for the people for once. But yeah, that'd be mad or bad. William Edge is saying, what is the new rule? Again, I would say just roll the live stream back, watch the first like 10 minutes. I talked about all the details there. As far as SSI, yeah, as far as the announcements out of Social Security. Yeah, Lewis Mays, exactly. Thank you so much for the nice message. I really appreciate that. Yeah, saying thank you for the videos and the time I put into it. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Lewis. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, Frederick. Hey, Frederick, I saw your comment earlier on the video. In fact, I said, hey, stand by, stay tuned. I'll make you a video or a live stream, but that's really cool. Yeah, Frederick, it's nice to see you here. That's a really good question. There should not be any delay. Okay, there should not be any delay. I'd be interested to hear where you're hearing that from, but no, should not be any delay whatsoever, right? No. Yeah, Lewis is saying not everybody is Nancy Pelosi rich. Yeah, well, I mean, if we could all do insider trading like Nancy does and her husband, then we would be as rich as Nancy. But we don't have the information she does and know exactly when to place the right trades and buy the right calls and sell the right puts and things like that. And if we did, we could just print money like she does. It'd be super easy. But unfortunately, we don't have that information because it's illegal for us to, but apparently it's not illegal for them to do that. So interesting how that works, right? No wonder why all the lawmakers are multi-millionaires when they only earn about 200 grand a year. If you run the math on that, it doesn't make sense. You can't become as rich as they do, making a couple hundred grand a year like they do, when they have hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars in some cases, right? Yeah, it's just, it doesn't add up, right? How are they getting their money? Gee, seems a little fishy. Maybe they should look into that. Yep. Oh, Richard Gray. Richard Gray is asking, what about SSDI? What are they going to do to that? Nothing in particular, but again, the press releases that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, I was basically just saying, hey, if somebody's an SSI beneficiary, be aware of these new rules, because these new rules basically have their own set for Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivor, spousal, all other beneficiaries, and then SSI has their own set of rules as well. Is that going to make sense? Yeah, so, yep. Yep, Ricky Roy. Yeah, exactly. Edward Pacific, I see you there as well. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is it Ernie? Yeah, I see you there as well. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon. Okay. Maybe I should restart this live stream. I don't really know, but I'm just seeing like a ton of comments saying things like, what's the rule? Like, what's coming on? What's happening here? I don't know if this video was not served right when I went live or what happened here, but it seems like just getting like a ton of the questions saying like, hey, what's this new rule? So how I structure the live streams is I spend like the first 10, 15 minutes or so talking about the changes or whatever it is that I want to talk about in that live stream. And then I get into the chat box and just answer questions. So again, I'm not sure like if this video wasn't served right away or what the deal is, but it just seems like that's kind of the situation. So anyway, the best thing I would say if you're just jumping on right now is just scroll back, watch the first like 10 minutes or so of this live stream. And basically what I'm doing is I'm talking about recent announcements out of the Social Security Administration, some of the press releases that were brought up by the Social Security Administration, and then how the rules are different for different sets of beneficiaries. SSI has their own set of rules, and how that is very impactful, especially for some of these coming in as they reinstate the 100% garnishment on overpayments, but yet SSI is not subject to the 100%, but rather SSI is subject to just 10%. SSI will remain at the 10% garnishment for anybody who has been overpaid by Social Security, whereas all other beneficiaries will revert back to 100%. In a matter of just days here for any new people receiving basically overpayment letters. But again, based on my understanding of this, and again, based on the press release out of Social Security, if somebody has already been informed of an overpayment from the Social Security Administration, it sounds like, again, they are grandfathered in at the 10% or the $10, whatever's greater, until the new rule basically goes into effect in a matter of days, and then it reverts back to the 100%. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so let's leave it at that for now. Again, who knows? Maybe I'll just jump on another live stream right away and just kind of talk about this again and clarify, and maybe that video will be served or something. But yeah, let's just leave it at that for now. If I missed your comment, again, I apologize. Certainly not doing that on purpose, trying to do my best to get to everybody as quickly as possible. But the best thing I would say is if you're just jumping on right now, just watch the first like 10 minutes. You probably don't even need to watch the first 10 minutes, honestly, of this video. And I explained it all there, but just in conjunction with those press releases out of the Social Security Administration. Does that kind of make sense? Anyway, I really hope that helps. But again, please, if you're new here, if you've not done so, just make sure to subscribe. I'm here for you every single day, watching the headlines, breaking it down in these short videos. There's just a lot that's going on right now. Things are changing very rapidly. I would fully anticipate this is going to be another very busy week with a lot of big announcements coming out. I can't even imagine what they're going to announce this week. Let's just hope that maybe it's something good for once. And just, I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, anyway. If you're just joining it right now, again, just hang on a second here and just watch it from the beginning of the live stream. It's honestly not all that long. So, all right, anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate it. And who knows, maybe I'll jump on a live stream very, very soon here, or maybe I won't. I don't know. And we'll kind of clarify this a little bit further. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Let's leave it at that for right now. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Have a great evening. Thanks again for watching this.